And every city in the world that's worth anything has an icon place where you hear great jazz. And this is it, and it's gone.
Because you had the whole venue had the history of being a jazz bar in the city centre, which you don't really get much more. And jazz has become sort of a fading thing.
The jazz scene is not as healthy as it has been in the past.
Where Roger used to play with his trio with Tony Hopkins and Nino Mamidovic on Thursday nights had changed ownerships as well, and they turned into a rock and roll bar. And nothing else seemed to open up in its place. And then when London Bar closed, it was like, wow, what now?
I think it's building slowly, but not a lot. You know, I came to New Zealand in '97, and I think there was a bigger scene around then, and certainly when London Bar was kind of full swing, and there was Manifesto. So there were a few other clubs around that time. It went into a big decline, definitely. I think it's building very slowly, but not a huge amount.
Well, there are wonderful musicians here, but there's nowhere to play. Well, not until CJC. There was a London Bar, yeah, but for creative music in a broader sense, there was nowhere really to play. I mean, I do a sort of range of world music and ECM type stuff, and I'm saying, Roger, where can I play ECM? You know, I mean, where?
You know, our idea is just creative jazz. We wanted it to be an outlet where bands were actually putting their own material together and had a reason to put their own material together.
It's, you know, this is what we can do. There is no jazz scene here. Let's do something. Well, it happened there. I was looking for a gig, and I approached Peter, and he said, well, I've got a Wednesday night coming up soon. And then I sort of thought about it, and I thought, well, you know, if I do this, you know, my quartet or something, it will be another badly paid gig for, you know, for however many weeks it lasts, or we can do something that, you know, has a bit more longevity. So now there's a place at least where you can play your stuff, you know, and you can grow from playing your stuff.
We've got feedback from bands that have said this is great because it's actually giving us an outlet, and it's giving us a reason to perform and to rehearse and to write stuff.
I mean, it's not going to be you know, jazz, you know, in terms of narrow focus. It's going to broaden out.
You know you're pushing the limits when you play tunes like "Eye of the Hurricane" by Herbie Hancock or something, and you're playing quite you know, dissonant stuff, and you sort of get a few sideways glances. But we just tried to we just pushed through that and did it anyway.
I mean, we want to get it out there so that people can make up their own minds. If they like it, then they'll come. people's projects, their creative projects. It's different from the music that I do if I go and do a function. Yeah, I improvise a little bit as well, but it's not so much a creative project, you know.
Guys are coming up and showcasing their own material and their own take on everything. And it's a shame that CJC is kind of the only place where you can do that, because it is just a jazz establishment and people, all the clientele is there to really listen, generally. There's a cover charge and, you know, you don't just walk in there for a beer when it's packed.
Everybody who goes there is into the music, and that's the thing, you know. It's not like going to a venue where people talk all over you. It's a listening audience, and it's a responsive audience, you know. Yeah, that's the difference.
New Zealand is very, you know, it's popular. Jazz isn't popular here, and jazz isn't popular around the world, so, yeah.
I think it'll develop here.
In a city like Auckland, it's not particularly arty and cultural anyway. I don't care how much people might say it is. It's not really. You know, if you live on the North Shore and someone lives in South Auckland and someone lives in West Auckland, like the chances that all of these people, like all the jazz fans, are going to show up on a Tuesday night at some jazz gig in the city is kind of low.
That's the thing with jazz, isn't it? There's no sort of boundaries. It crosses all demographics. A jazz lover, you know, socio-economic. I mean, it's a very broad section of people. Could be anybody. Could be, you know, the butcher down the street or something.
No one can say they don't like jazz.
Yeah, I mean, why do you like jazz? You know, it's like...
They take that knowledge, that inspiration, and they weld it to their own passions, you know. So it's new. That's what it's about. It's you forge it with your passions.
I mean, you know, why do you like a painting? Why do you like a poem? Why do you like a book? It just ultimately, it just resonates, doesn't it?